Yo guys, what is up? Moxie here with another Borderlands 3 video, and today we have my Zane build. Dude, this is so like Ricochet Witch was like the craziest build for Amar. It made cheesing all M4 content super easy. This is that same level of craziness, but with Zane. It solos the MAYHEM for Slaughter Shaft, MAYHEM for Takedown. Any content you guys want to do, this build absolutely destroys it all. And I heard you guys complaining or telling me that my builds were only working because of god rolls, and I have all these god rolls, and you're sick to see god rolls. So today I soloed the Slaughter Shaft, MAYHEM 4, and the Takedown with this build, with using a class mod that gave me 0 bonuses to my weapons. I'm only using SMGs with this, and so no bonuses on my Seeing Dead. I didn't use a shield, and I didn't use a grenade, and I used a banjo and a redistributor. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just trying to prove a point that this build works insanely well with a few skills and a few pieces of gear, but in no way is it required to have god rolls. Now I am going to be telling you guys about the best gear to have and the shields that you should be using, what you should be looking for on like your anointments, because I do know what's best, and I do have really great rolls and some items. I'll show you guys there, and I'm dropping the save file with the crazy items. But just to prove a point, I just soloed the Takedown with literally nothing, man. Literally nothing in this build. It is so crazy, and with that, let's get into the video.
Light it up, light it up, light it up. Light it up, light it up, light it
Alright guys, so the little montage at the beginning I had already made before I figured out that we could do the Takedown without a shield and grenade and good class mod. So the rest of the gameplay you're going to be seeing is without it. I just wanted to show the little montage clip because I thought it was cool. But real quick, before we get into the build, I do need to shout out my boy Thick Fillet. He is a YouTuber and content creator that mains Zane, and I popped into his stream yesterday, and he was using the banjo and the redistributor. Now I was using the redistributor before on Zane to make a Calm Cool Collected build. That was pretty cool, and in theory would work really well. But since this new class mod came out, we don't need to use Calm Cool Collected, and the banjo pairs perfectly with this build. So shout out to Thick Fillet for that initial discovery. And yeah, with that, let's get into the video. So this build uses Zane's new class mod, Seeing Dead. There's 3 things that are core to this build. It is the Seeing Dead class mod, it is the banjo artifact, and it is the redistributor. That is the general outline of the build. The redistributor is a new weapon, not from the DLC, it's from the addition of the Takedown and MAYHEM 4. The redistributor is a gun that is going to amp shots that chain every 7th shot. with that, we're using Seeing Dead, that whenever we damage an enemy with our weapon, we have a chance to automatically activate all of our kill skills, and pairing that with a banjo. Now, this is working because the redistributor is crazy high fire rate SMG that we can make even more insane with our kill skills. We're proccing all of our kill skills by hitting enemies or damaging tons and tons of enemies with the redistributor chaining to enemies and the banjo chaining on top of that. This is going to allow us to keep up our kill skills all the time. Now, this build would not be possible without the Seeing Dead class mod. The Seeing Dead class mod is at the very core of this build and is Zane's best class mod. In my opinion, there is no reason to use any other class mod anymore. It is that good. Seriously, seriously insane. And this boosts Zane up on the hierarchy of characters like crazy. Now, with that, let's get down to the skills. So for the skills here, I have played around with a lot of skills here. I didn't just spec this and go. I've been playing with the skills, and I tried using the shield and the clone. I tried using the sentinel and the clone. I tried using all sentinel and all clone tree, but just using the shield barrier. There's a lot of things that I've played around with, and so far, of all the things I've tried, by comparing their times and their survivability and the takedown, this is the best one. I put a lot of thought and effort into making this build, and I really do think that it is the best it could be. Alright, let's get into the skills and the tree breakdown. So, we are currently 5 out of 5 into synchronicity. Now, in order for you to understand my decisions here, you guys do need to understand that this class mod allows us to keep up our kill skills all the time, constantly, and never lose them. And because of that, we're using a skill that is going to allow us to never lose our action skills. Our action skills are going to be up 100% of the time. They never go down, and that is core to my decisions here. So synchronicity is going to give us plus 20% per active action skill. That's 40% damage constantly. Donnybrook is a kill skill that is going to give us gun damage, 36 gun damage, and health regen of 6% of our missing health per second. This can stack twice. This ability for Zane's kill skills to stack twice was recently added in an update, and because of that, and now that we can constantly proc our kill skills, Donnybrook is insanely good. So we're going to get a ton of health regen and a ton of gun damage constantly from this. With that, we're going into Violent Momentum, which is going to give us more damage while we're walking. And we're going 5 out of 5 into Violent Speed. This can stack twice, giving us 60% movement speed, which is, once again, we're going to be able to upkeep all the time. Next, we're getting Cool Hand to give us reload speed, which can also stack twice. And we're going Salvation, 2 points that can also stack twice. Now, I've been playing around a lot with the points in this tree and what is necessary and what is not. Before, I was using 5 out of 5 into Salvation, and I just ran the M4 Takedown with no shield, with 2 points in Salvation. So you're okay with 2 points. You don't need 5 points here. Then we're getting Drone Delivery, which will be dropping our grenade, which we'll cover in the gear section. Death Follows Close, which gives us increased effect and duration of our kill skills, which is great because our kill skills are going to be up all the time. Then we get to Playing Dirty and Good Misfortune. These are the stars of the shows. These are our best players in this build. Playing Dirty and Good Misfortune. Now, why do I say that? So Playing Dirty is a kill skill, once again, that after Zane kills an enemy, the next 5 shots all have a chance to fire an additional projectile. Now, because we're constantly proccing kill skills as we're shooting, this refreshes over and over and over and over and over again until every single shot you're firing is shooting or has a chance to shoot an additional projectile. Now, ideally, you would have +2 into Playing Dirty here. This is the class mod that I have been loving. Now, this is a god roll, but you don't need it. But I'm just showing you guys ideally what you would be looking out for. This would be weapon damage, SMG damage, and +2 into playing dirty, and +3 into Donnybrook. This is going to give us a guaranteed extra shot all the time, basically doubling our DPS and doubling our damage. And I have to say this. I know I'm trying my best to like segment things, but you need to understand that playing dirty, giving us additional shots every single time, and boosting it means that this every 7th shot is amped is going to happen faster. We're constantly gaining the benefits of this 7th shot is amped and chains to nearby enemies. And because our fire rate is so high and we're spewing out so many bullets, that electric banjo is going to be proccing a gazillion times. That is really core to this build. And then we have Good Misfortune. Good Misfortune is the cornerstone of this build. Good Misfortune is going to increase Zane's action skill duration when we kill an enemy. However, every time we shoot a bullet, we're basically proccing a banjo, proccing chains, and we're going to upkeep Good Misfortune all the time. And this is the skill that allows our kill skills or our action skills to never go down. We never lose our action skills, and that is part of the reason for a few more decisions. Next, we have 4 points into Violent Violence, giving us increased fire rate. This can stack twice. Now, if you want, you could take some points from Violent Speed and put them into Cool Hand, put them into Violent Violence. I didn't. This is the setup that I've been loving. And you don't need 3 points into Good Misfortune. 2 is just fine. 2 will do you just fine. Don't need 3 there. Next, we're going into our Green Tree, which is, we're going Ready for Action, which is going to give us shield recharge rate and shield recharge delay. This is nice to have. I just did the takedown without a shield, so it didn't really matter. There's no point into going Adrenaline because our action skills are never going to go on cooldown, so we don't need Adrenaline. We don't need Seeing Red because our class mod is giving us Seeing Red. Do not be silly and spec into Seeing Red here. Promise you guys, you don't need it. Every time you shoot, you're going to be able to proc Seeing Red, so don't do it. Don't spec into Adrenaline because your cooldown is not an issue. I personally go Brain Freeze here. Once again, I did all this testing with we just did the takedown with no shield, man. We don't need more health regeneration. We're unkillable. So for that, I go Brain Freeze. Now, Brain Freeze is going to allow us to slow enemies on a critical hit. Now, this isn't giving us Calm Cool Collected. We're not gaining any bonuses from freezing enemies, but it does give us a lot of crowd control and increased survivability to be able to freeze enemies. I use a controller, and this gun is very accurate, and I can hit my crits and basically freeze any target I'm shooting at, which just adds to our survivability. Next, we have Confident Competence. While Zane's shields are active, he gains increased gun damage and accuracy. This bonus is based on the amount of shields he has. The more percent full, the greater the bonus. This is going to give us gun damage and accuracy while our shields are active. Once again, usually you're going to be using a shield with this. For demonstration purposes, I wasn't, but this is a great skill to have. And with that, the augments we're going to be using is Charged Relay for more movement speed and reload speed, and the Dome, which is great, incredible for Zane's survivability. For the drone, we're giving Bad Dose for weakening enemies, and we're going Static Field to recharge our shield. Alright, now let's get into the breakdown of the gear. So, I'm going to put on, I'm going to give some recommendations for everything. So your grenade doesn't matter. Ideally, once again, these are ideals that you should be looking for. is an It's Piss grenade with an on grenade throw weapon damage, grenade, and action skill damage are increased by 25% for 6 seconds. You don't need an It's Piss, but you should be looking out for this anointment on any grenade. We're only using an It's Piss because it's going to debuff the enemies that it hits. You're going to be looking for an electric banjo. Now, we need to talk about the electric banjo, what it does, and how it works, where to farm it, because I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions about this. But this is a dedicated drop from the Billies in Ambermire, and it works like a brainstormer. So this artifact turns our weapon into a brainstormer. It is going to, this star power bullet proc chance is the chance that we chain an enemy. We send out a lightning tendril, and the rolls that you're going to be looking for on this is electrocute chance and shock damage being more important. Now, this bullet proc chance is when we hit an enemy, we have a 20% chance to proc that. With the redistributor, we're putting out so many bullets that we're procking this all the time. This is a big source of our damage. The banjo is even more important for a few reasons. One, it's going to allow us, it counts as gun damage, so it's going to give us all of our kill skills constantly, so it's always going to be proccing our kill skills. It's going to be able to benefit from salvation, so we're gaining lifesteal from the banjo, basically turning the redistributor into a brainstormer on a Mara. It gets absolutely crazy. Like I said, we are unkillable, and I can't stress that enough. You are literally like unkillable. It is ridiculous. So the things that we're spec'd into are allowing us our banjo to benefit the most. Now, another thing that's really cool is the anointment on your weapons you're going to be looking for is while Sentinel is active, gain 50% of damage as bonus cryo. This bonus cryo, one, we're going to be able to upkeep all the time because Sentinel's never going to go down. And two, the extra bonus cryo will apply to the banjo damage, which is super awesome. It makes this combo even more powerful. So once again, you're going to be looking for a redistributor with this bonus cryo. It is not needed. I have a redistributor with on-action skill and bonus cryo, or a non... I actually gave away my only non-anointed redistributor. I had 3 and I gave away the non-anointed one. But I'm telling you guys, you don't need an anointment on it. You're just looking for a redistributor to get perfect. Look for one with bonus cryo while Sentinel is active. But I was using this cryo redistributor, and I was never gaining the bonus cryo damage just because my action skills are never ending, and I killed things almost as fast. So I like bonus cryo damage on everything. While Sentinel's active, that is the best we can get on our weapons. And for our shield, now, once again, you don't need a shield, and that's crazy. So you're going to be looking for benefits on your shield that are nice for you. There's a lot of shields. We played around with a lot of shields, and there's a lot of things you could do with this. I was using a level 50 multivitamin shield. That was really nice. It was giving me bonus max health for more survivability. That is a great choice for this build. A recharger is a great shield because when your shield is broken, it instantly recharges. This one is perfect for me because it gives me bonus movement speed while my shields are full, which is also really nice to have. You can use a Rico shield that's going to give you reflect projectiles, which is nice when your shields are not down. But generally, like you don't need a shield. So basically, you can put whatever you want. Transformer is nice here as well. You don't need bonus action skill damage because your action skills are never going to really run out. So the anointment here I would look for would be like, yeah, I mean, you don't really need any anointments. Whatever you have, man, is going to work for this. This one's nice. Gain action skill cooldown rate if our action skill does end. But other than that, genuinely, you don't really need any too specific shield for this thing to work. Lastly, I was using an ion cannon just to take out the guards at the very beginning. and the top half of the Wotan. When I'm not running the Takedown, I will use a Cryo Sentinel Maggie. These is my Guardian ranks. I have 178 tokens that I haven't redeemed yet. I did not spec these points. If you look, I have plus 15% to vehicle damage, and I have 4.3 to critical hit damage, 11 to gun damage. These are not my specs. So, yeah, your Guardian rank also doesn't matter. Just an FYI. Once again, like with this stuff and like not using a shield, I'm not trying to be like a cocky motherfucker trucker. I'm just trying to get the point across that this build is insane at its very base. Redistributor, Banjo, Seeing Dead. That is all you need. Once you get the better gear, you are going to be doing even better with it. But at its very core, this build can solo M4 Takedown with very subpar mediocre gear. Hell, even lacking most of the gear. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new. This build is absolutely crazy and so much fun to use. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be away for the holidays, so I won't be streaming, but I'm going to try to make some more videos today for you guys so I can have some uploads. And yeah, the save file will be in my Discord. Have a good one, guys. Peace!